I love him, man.
Hello, everybody. Another class lesson and another class lesson with yours truly, the counselor. Very important. This lesson is called The Effects of Abandonment on Boys and Men. The effects of abandonment on boys and men. There's a lot of problems in these relationships, and one of the big causes, one of the major causes, I would say, is the effect of abandonment on boys and men. It says abandonment. The way we define abandonment is when someone is experiencing physical, emotional, and even spiritual neglect. The way we define abandonment is when, let's cut some of this noise down. It says the way we define abandonment is when someone is experiencing physical, emotional, and even spiritual neglect, right? That emptiness, right? The emptiness inside and in our minds, hearts, and spirit, right? It says, what do you think are signs of abandonment? If you don't know, here's some help. Abandonment could be if one or both of your parents are absent in your life. It could be that one or both of your parents are using and abusing alcohol or drugs. It could be when one or both of your parents decide to get in a new relationship with someone other than your biological parent. The effects of abandonment on a final note can come in the form of death. Mama, daddy, why did you leave me? Isn't that interesting? Yes. It says, studies say that boys that grow up without fathers and healthy role models grow up to have problems with women. It even said that some of these boys grow up having problems with their own mother and blaming their mother for their father's absence, right? It says, what kind of home did you grow up in, right? What kind of home did you grow up in? It says, did you grow up with your father in the house? Yes or no? Did you grow up watching your father fight your mother? Yes or no? Did you grow up having problems with your mother? Yes or no? Are you attracted to women that remind you of your mother, whether the passive type or the aggressive type? Because the passive type can take on looking for someone where you can practice behaving or acting like you saw your father or some other man treating your mother, right? When he talks about having problems with your mother, many of these boys or young men grow up blaming their mother for their father's absence. You know, it's kind of like where you might be in some kind of school activity where all the boys in school with fathers are going to the Boy Scouts, but yet some of these boys or many of these young men don't have fathers, so they go anyway. Mama pays for it, and you know, and the kids seem to make a lot of fun, a lot of jokes about, you ain't got no daddy, that kind of stuff, and it can be very painful to deal with that kind of stuff. And the little child, the young boy, the young man wants answers, and there's no one there to give him his answers, and many times he goes to mama and say, Mama, what happened? But, you know, no wonder daddy left you. I mean, just getting smart-mouthed and all kind of stuff, right? But he has an imbalance. He's not balanced. You know, it takes both parents to have the full balance, right? And hopefully they're healthy parents so he can have the righteous full balance. But a lot of times, even some of these boys can find themselves growing up hating their mother for their father's absence, right? And then doing a lot of evil things and saying a lot of evil, nasty things towards their mother. And then after mama's out of the way, after he goes out in the big world, you will find some of these young men, and a lot of these young men, a whole lot of these young men, practicing on women, practicing in their relationships with this hate that they first practice on their mother. And so it's a trip. You know, now all boys that grow up without fathers don't grow up doing this, but there are a lot of them, and there may be a lot of you. So the question is, ask yourself questions. I often wonder sometimes when I'm looking or I'm executing this plan on this level of domestic violence and this particular subject, I often wonder, even some of my associates, some of the people, some of the males that I may have grown up with, how they swallow the whole idea, and why sometimes they might say, right, and they make funny looks and sort of funny responses, and I come to realize that it's not easy to support a friend like me. I'm a wonderful friend. I'm a good friend. You know, there's nothing you can really say, or nothing has been said, because my track record is good. But when it comes to this particular subject and a lack of support, I know it has a lot to do with who we are when nobody's looking. It has a lot to do with our violent behavior at home and stuff. And so many times we have our male chauvinists, and we have this male attitude because we're guilty a lot of times in our own story, you know. And it's okay to be guilty. It's okay to have made mistakes. I've made mistakes. But like Mama said, when I made my mistake and I was in her presence, she told me she wanted me to promise her something. I said, what, Mama? She said, first she said, I can't believe you acting like your daddy. I said, what? Oh, it hit me so hard. It hit me so hard. And I started listening. I was a defender of my mama. I mean, I defended my mama against my own daddy. And Mama told me, she said, I want you to promise me something, baby. I said, what is it, Mama? She said, promise me no matter how bad a woman makes you, you will not put your hands on them. Promise me you'll just walk away. And I said, what? She said, come on now. So I made Mama that promise. And believe it or not, I was 20 years old. And I've been keeping that promise, you know. And I'm 50 now. So it can be done. We can change our outlook so we can change our outcome. Keep your hands to yourself is my message. Yours truly, the counselor. Hello again, everybody. We're here with another lesson and another blessing. This evening's lesson will be called The Willingness to Look on the Inside of Self. The willingness to look deeply on the inside of self. It says, when it comes to many people, especially men and also women, looking at themselves from the inside seems to be a very difficult task and thing to do. Many of us have grown up in families, neighborhoods, and around peer groups where we have seen and learned lots of unhealthy behaviors, verbal and physical abuse, and put downs that were wrong, that we have convinced ourselves that were actually right. When you begin to look on the inside and see that your behaviors have been hurting others as well as yourself, 52 weeks of domestic violence, it is now time to reevaluate our past and restructure our future, right? Okay, now, here's number one. Do you know or believe a person with low self-esteem and low self-worth will find it hard and just about impossible sometimes to associate themselves and feel comfortable in high esteemable positions and even around highly self-esteemable people, right? That can be kind of hard, you know what I'm saying? If I'm feeling low and feeling like nothing, you know, there's a strong possibility that I'm going to go around some other people that's feeling like nothing, right? Number two, do you have a positive and healthy sense of self-worth about yourself? Is the question. Yes or no? Number 3, do you have and are you known to have an unhealthy sense of low self-esteem and a low self-worth about yourself? Yes or no? 4, if you want and now find yourself desiring to have a higher level of self-worth and a higher level of self-esteem, we need to practice doing self-esteemable things and self-worth behaviors, right? Got to practice it, right? Because it's kind of foreign sometimes. Not for all, but for some. Number 5, when things go bad in your life, are you known to go bad with them? When things go bad in your life, do you go bad with them, right? Number 6, do you know or realize if you don't know or care about the direction you are going in life, you will likely allow any road to get you there, which will then and can become dangerous and frustrating, right? 52 weeks. Okay, 7. Please tell us if you don't know or care about the direction you're going in your own life, how are you able to have what it takes in a relationship to direct the path of your significant other's life? If you don't know what direction you're going in life, how you gonna tell baby? How you gonna tell him or whatever, right? Get in the car. Let's ride. If you don't know where you going, how you gonna show them where y'all going? It's gonna be kind of bad, right? Messed up too. Number 8. What is the definition of a man? What is the definition of a man? And are you living up to that definition? You might say you know what a man is. You might imagine you know what one is, but are you living up to that what you say a man is? Number 9. What is your definition of a real woman, and what does she look like, and how does she behave or carry herself? Do you know? We really need to know, because if you don't know, how you gonna find it, right? Number 10. If you are the definition of a real man and you meet that definition of what you believe is a real woman, how should a real man treat a real woman? And please don't talk about what you did to get in this domestic violence program. Tell us what you should have done, right? Okay. Now, closing out, I like to say that, does your large picture of life fit into the small picture frame that you put it in? Does your large picture of life, your big dreams and everything, does it fit in that small block that you've been hanging out on for the last 20 to 30 years? Does it fit into that? Do you have many planes to fly around that block that you're from, that neighborhood you're from? I mean, does your large dreams and picture of life fit into that small, itty-bitty picture frame that you put it in? If not, we need to do more homework on ourselves. We need to look deep inside ourselves. Quit looking at the clothes you got on and thinking that's gonna, dictate who you are to the world. You got to go on the inside and clean house and restructure house. All right, that's it. Yours truly, the counselor, Mr. James Horton. Thanks. Happy New Year's, everybody. Happy New Year's from yours truly, the counselor, Mr. James Horton. It's going to be a beautiful year. My hopes are very strong and uplifting. So, I just want to wish you all the best. The sky's the limit. Let's do it for 2018.